Hi guys, thanks for joining me on Making with Marilyn. Now to me, crafting is very therapeutic. It helps me get out of my head for a while, work with my hands, and have some fun. And I hope by doing these videos, I can inspire you to do the same. On today's video, I'm going to sublimate on the back of this Dollar Tree cutting board with this beautiful image that I found online. Now the way that this works is, we put some permanent Oracal vinyl, and this is 651 Oracal vinyl. We adhere that to the back of the cutting board. Then we put the image under our vinyl and heat it on the heat press. Magically, the ink from your image comes through the vinyl and you see it from the top side of your cutting board. Now the first thing I need to do is remove these feet. So I just have this little spatula. I'm going to dig under it a little bit and then just grab it with my finger and pull it off. Okay, now we have some goo left on the bottom of this. And so we need to get that cleaned off. You can take it and use some dish soap and hot water. You can try some alcohol. But today I'm going to use this Undo. It's a sticker remover. And I used to use this a lot when I was doing my old-fashioned scrapbooking. Okay, that's a good start, but I am going to take this to the kitchen sink and get the rest of that cleaned off. Now, because once I get the white vinyl on the back of my cutting board, I'm not going to be able to see through it. So before I put my white vinyl on, I want to put my cutting board down on my design and then draw a circle around it. Then in a little bit, you'll see just how handy that is. Okay, now these cutting boards have two sides. They have a rough side, that's the top, and then a smooth side, which is the bottom. We're going to put our vinyl on the smooth side, which will be the bottom side. Now, if you want to, you could just put vinyl down, trace a circle around it, and cut it out. But I actually used my Cricut to cut mine, and I cut it at 7.75 inches in diameter. Then whatever way works for you to get your vinyl onto your circle, that's great. Maybe you use transfer tape, but the method I'm going to use tonight is a wet application method. And I'm going to use this. It's called Rapid Tack. I just have it in a spray bottle, but it's Rapid Tack and it is made for applying decals to things. So the first step is you're supposed to use your Rapid Tack. You're actually supposed to clean your item twice with the Rapid Tack, but since I just cleaned it, I'm going to skip the second cleaning. You're supposed to remove your vinyl. So the second step is you spray this on the back of your vinyl. Now some people do the wet application method and they just use water or they put just a tiny bit of soap in it. But I saw a man use this on a YouTube video and he just swore by it. So I went ahead and ordered some. So we're going to flip this over and put it down on our glass. Now usually if you put vinyl down, it is super hard to peel up. But because of the application fluid, this is really easy to peel up. So you have a little bit of time to work with it. So I'm just moving that around. I can easily slide it around. Now I cut my vinyl just a tiny bit smaller than my glass, and I have it where I want it. So I'm going to use a squeegee and work from the center out to get rid of that fluid. Okay, if you've ever done this and fought with bubbles, this was amazing. I hope that you can see there are just no bubbles in this. Okay, the instructions for the wrap attack says to let it sit for a couple of minutes. Then I'm actually going to place this vinyl side down under my heat press. I'm going to set my heat press at 385 and press it for 15 seconds. Okay, my heat press is up to temperature. I'm going to protect the mats that came with the heat press with some craft paper and some parchment paper. Really anything that will keep your mats safe is good. And then remember, I was going to put this vinyl side down. I have a Teflon sheet on the bottom side of my top platen. And then I'll heat this for 15 seconds. So I'll stop that when it gets to 75. Now I have a tile right here beside my heat press. So I'll go ahead and place my glass on the tile. And then I'll let that cool off for maybe 5 minutes or so. You wouldn't want to put your sublimation paper on this yet until it's cooled off. Otherwise, it could start sublimating before you're ready. Okay, remember earlier when I drew the circle and I said this was going to help in the long run? Here's where that works. I can see where my glass cutting board needs to go. I can't see through the cutting board anymore. So that's why I drew my circle around my design. Now I'm going to start off for 90 seconds at a temperature of 395. After 90 seconds, I'll check it. I'll probably rotate it and do it for another 90. So you can see the design is barely coming through. Now I haven't found it necessary on my heat press, but it is recommended by some people that you go ahead and rotate your object. That way, if there's any cold spots in your heat press, you'll rotate what was under the cold spot to a hot spot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to do this another 90 seconds. It might be ready, or I might want to give it a third go. I think that looks pretty good, but I'm just going to give it one more go so that I can get it as vibrant as possible. Okay, let's take one more look at this. Okay, I think that's ready to come off. So I'm going to go ahead and place it on my tile so it can be cooling. Now let me show you why you need to let this cool. Your sublimation paper is now basically glued to the vinyl. That vinyl's sticky. So if you started to pull back on the sublimation paper now, you would likely pull your vinyl off. So this is something that takes a lot of patience. which sometimes I have hard to find, but in this case, I'm going to get a much better result if I just wait. So I'm just going to go downstairs, chat with my husband, and come back and check it in about 20 minutes. Before I do though, since the bottom side is what I need to cool off, I'm going to turn it upside down. Usually in my sublimation videos, I remind you that the print that you get straight out of the printer isn't nearly as vibrant as what you see after you add heat. Before adding heat, the colors are just really muted. Now this is Texprint R paper, and people I've seen on YouTube have a really easy time of peeling this off the back. When I did mine before, I had to wash it off with water and rub and scrape. So I got some of this paper, and this will be my first time to use it on the back of one of these cutting boards. So let's see how this goes. That was awesome! If you watch my old video, you'll see I had to get a casserole dish, put some water in it, and really work to get this off. Isn't that beautiful? Now, if I want to, I can put my little feet on the back, or I can leave them off. Either way. But I just love this. This is going to be great to use at Easter. Thanks so much for joining me. Until the next video. Bye-bye.